Leadership and the Free Education Movement by Daniel Leste. The free education movement needs leaders. We need effective, influential leaders in order to get laws passed that are in favor of free higher education. In order for free higher education to become a reality all across America, it's going to take strong, effective leaders to persuade Americans that our way of funding education has to change. We need leaders in education who will convince our states, our nation's leaders, including congressmen and governors, that we need to publicly fund education in order to influence politicians to support free education. What are the three fundamental qualities of a good leader? Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. Dr. Martin Luther King. Larry Spears, 1996 CEO of Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership, described servant leadership as a way of being in a relationship with others. He illustrated servant leadership practice as a set of ethical and caring behaviors that emphasized employees' personal growth, involved them in decision-making, and supported the quality of organizational life. What is servant leadership? Servant leadership is a philosophy that supported the well-being of employees over the leader's self-interest. 4 aspects of servant leadership. Servant leadership practices a set of ethical and caring behaviors that emphasizes employees' personal growth, involves employees in decision-making, and supports the quality of organizational life. 3 aspects of servant leadership. Servant leader is servant first. It begins with a natural feeling that one wants to serve first. Then the conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. That person is sharply different from one who is leader first. By Robert K. Greenleaf. Effective practices of a servant leader. They value people, they build community, they provide leadership, develop people, display authenticity, and shares leadership. The effects of servant leadership. Sharif and Skandura in 2014 corroborated Nyhan's findings and concluded that employees who perceived their leaders as authentic and ethical exhibited the following effects. They performed better, they had a sense of community, they engaged in citizenship behaviors, and they were more likely to be satisfied with their job. So what does a servant leadership mean for the free higher education movement? A servant leader needs to let those that they are leading participate in the decision-making. Having politicians lead a referendum for voting on funding free public tuition may make a huge difference in how public support is for free education. A servant leader needs to let those they are leading participate in the decision-making. Within the institutions of higher education, there are those who may resist the idea of no longer charging tuition and those who believe students should shoulder the cost of their own education. Therefore, a servant leader should develop relationships to lead people through positive influence. Adaptive leadership. An adaptive leadership approach will help facilitate organizations to adapt to potential changes by encouraging collective learning and collaboration by the organization's members. If higher education were to become free for all students, then it would be assumed that the business and financial aid departments may need to undergo some changes in order to adapt to the new method of payments that would accompany a change to a publicly funded higher educational system. An adaptive leader would have to help facilitate those changes within the higher educational institution and teach them how to adapt to those potential institutional changes. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.